So on the course, about 3 weeks ago now, people can ask questions. We have live classroom sessions and mentoring and different stuff. And one of the ones that came in from a guy who's kind of towards the start of his career, and he was dealing with some pressure and stress, and he was worried about it. And almost for him, he wanted someone to kind of bounce something off someone who's maybe a bit more experienced, just to get that third party opinion and feedback on it to help them kind of frame where they're at. And actually, I thought it was really interesting that as you go through your career, I think it's a really funny one that as your career progresses, you actually deal with different types of stress. So largely when you start your job, it's to do with learning the job, dealing with the people, and kind of just doing your job. But as you progress through an organization, as you get to management and senior management, now I do less of doing the job and more of looking after the corporate strategy, paying everyone's wages, any health and safety things, commercial risk. But it's that funny thing that actually the risks and that change over time. And in some ways, your ability to deal with pressure and stress, it can increase, probably not for everyone, but your ability, then the tools that you have to deal with challenges, I think changes. And that really helps when you can mentor someone and talk about different things. That actually everyone deals with stress, and it was something I kind of wanted to talk about now, but I also talked about on the call. But actually, when we could kind of rationalize the problem, he left feeling a lot better and actually quite excited about tackling the challenge. So because of that, I thought it could be a really interesting topic to kind of talk about. So the first thing, what type of stress is it? Because for me, there are different types, and this is a really important thing, that you can have one-off. So you have your normal job, your normal life experience, a random freak one-off thing happens that then you have to deal with. But that probably won't happen again, or if it does, it's on a very rare occurrence that you can't predict. So because you can't predict it, you almost then just have to kind of deal with it. But that's in stark contrast to pressure and stress, which is almost continuous, it's regular. That could be politics in the office. It could be the job that you do. I imagine if you're a firefighter and you go and fight fires every day, it's a key part of your job that you're going to be exposed to fire and risk. That therefore, that's a different challenge to a freak one-off kind of thing. And for me, this is really important because actually, we can change jobs. You kind of learn more about yourself as you go through your career and almost kind of grow up. That I know I'm very good at some things and not so good at others. But the truth is you can almost craft your job that so prime example for me is that I'm a chartered mechanical engineer. I work a lot in the offshore energy industry. So a lot of my job as a director is to look after health and safety, HR, commercial risk, and also cash flow and basically business kind of risk. Although that can be very stressful, the way that I almost kind of put myself in the shoes, if you look at the team of people that work within the business, am I the most qualified person to take on that risk and handle that for the team? And the answer is yes. But actually, because I have the tools to deal with that better than anyone else, I'm supporting the team by tackling something that I happen to be really good at. When we deliver short, quick turnaround offshore energy equipment, suppliers let you down, couriers don't like you, or they don't deliver on time, or stuff gets caught in customs, or a supplier delivers late. Ironically, because I care about the customer and I care about the project and what we deliver at the end of the day, although I can do that, I don't enjoy that. So I've ran projects in the past when we've been a bit short-staffed. And the irony is I stress more about delivering one piece of kit to go down to Plymouth by a certain date and all the stuff that goes wrong when people let you down. That affects me more than really high-level commercial strategy, business risk, etc. And that's just because I'm a different type of animal, where some people don't care about the other thing. But that's actually where it's really interesting to almost find a job which is relevant to you. But if you really don't enjoy doing something, you can switch jobs. But actually this comes down to the fact of, if it's a key part of your job, maybe change jobs, change careers, or craft your job to maybe do less of the bit that you hate. But also, if it is a one-off freak accident, actually, nobody could predict that. And then it's a case of how you can then deal with the pressure, deal with that kind of thing. So as a key example, this one particular guy who got in touch, he was really stressed because there was an accident on site. Nobody was seriously hurt, so nothing really bad happened, just to kind of throw that out at the start. But he was worried because this thing happened, senior management were going to come down, investigate, find out what happened, do the whole investigation, and to basically make sure it doesn't happen again. And essentially his pressure and stress was worried about, well, what will they think about me? What if they think I haven't done something correctly, etc. And I made the point that actually, as a director in a very similar business, what you want is to just to make sure that it doesn't happen again, but actually just to find out and make sure everyone's okay, etc. And I made the point that actually, if you take control of the situation, you investigate it yourself, you follow procedures, you can demonstrate that the team did everything they were meant to do, etc., but almost take ownership of the situation. If anything, rather than it being a stressful situation, it could actually be an opportunity to shine, because realistically, if you are the leadership of that company and you've got a guy who's fairly young, but he's really taken ownership of a challenge which wasn't his fault, but shown great leadership, organization, told the truth, was accountable, if anything, that's a huge tick in the box for his CV, etc. And anyway, through the course of the call and the kind of mentoring, he actually left the call really confident that he could go away, tackle this challenge, and just through reframing the same thing into a potential for positive, he actually was quite excited about it. And this again comes down to the difference between a one-off thing that someone has to deal with. Prime example, if you are driving home, there's a car crash, and it needs someone to take charge, to look after it, call emergency services, make sure people are okay. If you feel you can, stepping up to take control and help is only a good thing. And it's just that kind of thing that, with workplace pressures and stress, it is really useful to be able to frame the challenge that you kind of deal with. And actually, is it something you're best placed to deal with versus everyone else in your team? In which case, are you helping everyone out through stepping up? Or if you just have pressure and stress because you have a nightmare manager or boss that you don't get on with, are there ways that you can maybe mitigate that or get around it? Maybe HR, maybe talking to them, maybe try and build that relationship. But if it is a key regular part of your job and it just doesn't seem to ever change, maybe there are things that we can look at as well. So it was just a quick topic that I wanted to talk about pressure and stress and different ways to kind of deal with it. My name's Steve. If you check us out, we have got a business course called Roadmap MBA, and you can learn completely free business skills anywhere in the world. Check us out at roadmapmba.com.